That is right. I hope you're ready to watch the earnings reports to watch for the week of March 23rd. This is Isolation Edition. Obviously, as we were all self-quarantining, what do we have to do but look at stocks all day? I mean, right? Isn't that the best thing we can do? I think that's the best thing we can do personally. That's what I'll be doing. No doubt about that. This week is full of not that many beautiful ones, if you might want to put it that way. There's not the most exciting ones out there, but we're certainly going to take a look at a couple of these and see what maybe we can make a play on. You never know, because I think earnings, even in this time of insane market disconnect, I think earnings are the main thing that can really bump single stocks up and down, at least for a temporary time, but then eventually the market takes over and people are crazy. So, starting off Monday, we have, that's right, Zhanpu, AI. Chinese companies, what do I think about them? Not good companies to invest in right now. That economy is tanking beyond belief. I would stay out of Chinese stocks at the moment, but I do think you might be able to find some good deals for the future. But the question is, who's going to survive out of this nightmare that they're facing? It's a good question. Tech companies could be a decent option, but you just never know. Next we have Brainsway. Now, Brainsway, you see, everyone cares about Brainsway, right? Not really. I don't care much about Brainsway because I don't really, frankly, know what they do besides the fact that they've been absolutely hammered. And they're a newer IPO from last year, and, things aren't going well for them. They've lost half their value since IPO. Not too excited about them. As we speak, we have another Chinese company. Sorry, guys. Don't know it. Then we've got Audio Eye, starting the after hours there. So Audio Eye, is there any exciting input on Audio Eye? Well, so they are pretty much they develop patented internet content publication and distribution software enabling the conversion of any media into an accessible format and allowing for real-time distribution to end users on all internet-connected devices. In other words, tech company, right? That's what we like to say for them. Is there anything exciting going on with them? I don't personally think there's anything exciting going on with them. If you look at the stock action, it's, again, another recent IPO that's just, down over 50% of its value after IPO last year. So, nothing I'd personally say to mess with in this type of a market environment. We've got Verta, Diamedica, Pangea. Everyone knows about Pangea. That's right. We're investing in billions of years ago when every continent was together. That's what we're investing in right now. You might as well, because that's where we're going back to, no doubt. The world's going to go in reverse once it ends, and we're going to restart again. I didn't know if you knew that, but it's just how life works. You may notice I'm adjusting in the chair and no squeakage. I may have purchased a new chair, and I hope you're excited. So please invest in the chair company that I purchased, which I won't explain to you who, but you just got to guess. We've got Phoenix New Media with some symbols that make me scared, but they're definitely Chinese symbols, and they scare me. It looks like I'm summoning Regigigas, in Pokemon. That's what it looks like with those symbols at the moment. I think that might be the exact symbols, to be frankly honest. Regigigas, he's a scary one. Cango Management, another Chinese company. Then we have Electrocore. And Electrocore, you're like, that sounds pretty cool, right? I like Electrocore just because it sounds interesting. Well, here's the thing about Electrocore. Maybe they are interesting, but it's a penny stock, and again, an IPO that is down over 98% of its value since IPO. So, Electrocore, officially, in my opinion, not that cool of a stock, but you never know. They are a commercial stage bioelectronic medicine company with a platform, non-invasive vagus nerve simulation therapy focus on neurology and rheumatology. All things considered, it's an interesting company as far as what they do, but the financials on the company are horrific. So definitely not something I would consider getting into right now, but it could be maybe a speculative stock if you're interested. Tuesday before open, you have IHS Market. Nothing exciting. Lexon. I feel like they reported last week, but Neogen Corporation. Obviously, you see this beaker with some, chemicals coming out of it. Just be scared. You gotta waft those. Remember, you got taught in biology originally. You have to waft 2 fingers, stand 5 foot back, and just waft towards yourself. We've got 10 LTD, QE, UNG, Cheetah Mobile. If you want to get into the mobile game sector, which, to be frankly honest, could be an interesting one for this quarter. Obviously not this quarterly earnings, but guidance could be an interesting one because if you think about it, everyone getting quarantined and isolated, people might start playing a lot more mobile games. Well, they most likely will. They'll start playing more games in general, so maybe Cheetah Mobile could be an interesting one. You never know. Potentially. And then, there's Chang right there. Chang. After close, we have Nike, and I feel like someone messed up that logo. It looks a little weird. Shouldn't it just be the swoosh? Come on, guys. It should just be the swoosh, right? I could be losing my mind, though. Then we've got Canova Therapeutics. Therapeutics companies that are a decent play right now just due to the fact that in such an unstable market, their instability looks somewhat normal. So, interesting if you wanted to get into that. We've got grocery outlet and At Home. At Home is a very interesting stock. I think it's one that's probably going to get hit very hard because of this. At Home is a retailer focused on really home improvement type stuff, design, fashion, stuff like that. It's a stock I made certainly a lot of money on prior. Right now it's sitting around $2, but there was last year I caught a nice run up and pretty much doubled my position, sold out, and since then this thing it's just tanked hard. I think the company is decent in terms of what they do. Management team's all right, but they have a lot of long-term debt, and I think this could hurt them quite a lot as far as this outbreak is concerned. So we'll see how they do. Not something I would certainly say invest in at the moment, though. We've got Cinex, Steel Case, ProPetro. Get out of those oil stocks. Still, oil's tanking like no other. My gosh. We've got Opgen, AAR, and Solgen. That's right. Solgen. I've got soul, but I'm not a Solgen. That's Solgel, sorry. The joke doesn't work whenever you flub it, but, I flubbed it. It's alright. Wednesday, we got Paychex, Winnebago. You guys feel like cooking some methamphetamine in Winnebago with me? Because they're reporting earnings, so we'll see how they do. Might be able to get them pretty cheap. Miles Renz. That one's a very tough one to see, but we have Elbit Systems and Siren. Nothing too exciting. After close, everyone knows I love me some Micron. There's no doubt. So Micron, is it a company that's going to get pretty hit hard because of this? Well, we will see. I think there's a decent chance that Micron gets a little bit roughened up. It's Micron Technology, just so you know. I'm already down pretty big on my position now, just because of this recent pullback in the past month of 40%, which, again, aren't we all down on positions that are newer? But overall, I think long term, I really like the prospects of Micron, so we'll see how they do long term. This earnings, I'm not expecting too much from, but I think with a lot of newer consoles coming out, newer phones coming out, this next year could be huge for Micron once we get out of this nightmare that we're currently in. We've got Paysign, Shoe Carnival, a company I fear could really just go out of business at any point. Shoe Carnival is just not necessarily a retailer that I find to be the most exciting of retailers. I think it's hard to have, in this environment, it's hard to have retailers that are focused on specific areas like shoes. And again, they also temporarily closed stores due to this, but they're a company that actually does make good earnings. Good job for the management team, actually. Retaining profit. I think they're doing a good job. Shoe Carnival can stick around in my book, but I've never been in one for sure. I just usually would go in like a Kohl's or something because they've got everything you could, ask for clothes-wise. So, we've got Arcadia after them, Hire Car, HTG Molecular, HB Fuller, Personalis, Inuvo, and Oncocyte. That doesn't sound gross, or it does sound gross, sorry. I don't have any insight on those ones, unfortunately, so nothing too exciting sounding, in my opinion, but Oncocyte, maybe you got some biotech aspects to it. We'll see. Maybe. Thursday, before open, we've got Signet. We've got Canadian Solar. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, eh? We got FactSet, Embraer, Lictech. I don't know why it's called Lictech, but I certainly don't want to find out why it's called Lictech. Worthington, that's right. You got a little bit of a Viomi, another Chinese company. Titan Machinery. I know that symbol. I learned a little bit of Chinese, obviously, as a man who is somewhat a Renaissance man. You know what I mean? It's very talented, no doubt. But obviously, I forgot most of it. But regardless, I'm just saying. Titan Machinery probably gonna get hammered as we're shutting down plants in a lot of aspects. So really, a lot of these factory type companies are gonna get hit very hard. So expect a very bad guidance for this company. We've got Bit Auto and Celsius. After close, that's right. We've got Lululemon. If you purchase Lululemon stuff, who knows? Higher quality, retailer. In times of recessionary environment, they still do quite well. So we'll see how Lululemon does, but in the short term, they're probably going to get hit pretty hard because people aren't necessarily going to be going out for clothing shopping at the moment, but they could purchase online for sure. Next, we have a company that I don't think should survive this. I can understand people saying that they might, but this is GameStop. In my opinion, I don't know how GameStop is, frankly, still alive at this point to begin with. This is a company I'm frankly just waiting out until they get bankrupt or go bankrupt and then they die off. I think it's certainly a possibility for them because this company it's just not a business model that works for the modern era, in my opinion. We've got KB Home. Home market getting hit potentially pretty hard because of this, who knows, but not one that would be super exciting. There's Progress. Sorry, I feel like I couldn't say the word for a second. SAIC. Huazhu. BioLace. IGM Biosciences, another interesting play maybe. Sportsman's Warehouse. One that's going to be shutting down stores for sure. I'm sure that's going to be part of their announcement. So definitely an interesting one to maybe stay away from. Nova Bay. Friday, you've got Secure Works. Ocugen, an interesting company. Ocugen is certainly an interesting company I might consider. Mogo, AutoWeb, and TeleBio. So, again, this is an interesting one. There's a lot of really good deals on companies out there right now. Can the market go down further? Absolutely it can. But I think there's a lot of really good deals. None of these companies stick out to me as super exciting. I'd like to see how low Micron can get after this earnings, potentially. Nike, you should look at that earnings because it's one that's going to be vastly just hammered beyond belief. Because, again, they produce probably 90% of their product comes from China. And China's shutting down all factories for the most part. Nike's going to get hammered hard. And again, it's not like they don't have inventory on hand. They definitely have backup inventory, but clothing isn't necessarily going to be the area to invest in anyways at the moment. So that's my opinion on these companies. Hope you enjoyed.